everybody, and welcome to a little food for thought about incentive plans and how they can make or break an organization's bottom line. My name's Jane Binzak, and I'm a senior HR leader and a member of the Forbes HR Council. I'm delighted today to have Andy Lanou with us. Andy is a director of territory sales at Relco. Welcome, Andy.
Thank you. Appreciate the invitation.
Andy, could you share with us a little bit about what Relco does?
Yeah, absolutely. Ralco is a third generation family owned company that's really focused on enhancing the vitality of plants and animals to help producers and farmers produce healthier food. So we do that through animal health solutions as well as nutrition solutions that help to help our producers do the best job of taking inputs and creating outputs efficiently. Putting healthy food on our tables.
Well, thank you for being a positive part of our food supply. What I'm going to do is switch over right now in regards to some of the innovative ways that you have utilized to motivate your team and to move your organization strategy forward. Can you share with us your experience that you had about 8 months ago? I believe you introduced a new incentive plan to your sales team.
Yeah, absolutely. We came to the realization that our incentive program wasn't working for us. Over time, as we brought in new people onto our sales team, what had happened is that our base salaries had continued to increase and our commission percentages were low enough that it didn't change the behavior of our sales team. So that meant that going out and closing a really nice sale wasn't noticeable to our salesperson's check at the end of the month. So what we wanted to do is enhance that program so that having a win at the office correlated to having a win at home when the paycheck came. So what we really did is took a look at the way our incentive program was built, the percentages of income that were driven by base salary and commission, and said, what do we need to do to be able to use our commission to drive the type of activities out of our sales team that the company needed to move forward and grow.
Well, excellent. As you were putting together this incentive plan and this new commission plan, what challenges did you come into?
Yeah, so certainly there was a challenge because our goal here, when we started looking at the commission rates, was to double our commission rate. So to do that, there had to be an impact to the base salaries to keep that total compensation looking similar in current state. So some of the challenges that we ran into during that process was both looking at these different territories of size and shape and saying, how do we ensure that this change isn't resulting in an immediate windfall or penalty for that salesperson on that transition of the exact same business. But the other part of that was also some of our sales team accepting the fact that their base salary was going to be substantially lower, even though their total compensation was remaining very similar. So that was a little bit of a transitional challenge in getting people to understand that. Now, what we found is that our top salespeople who were committed to and confident in their growth really, really liked the program. And some of our lower performing salespeople had a hard time with the idea that their base salary was going to go down. And although that was a challenging transition, that was also something that was by design, to where our higher performers are going to enjoy this more aggressive reward program, and some of our lower performers are going to be a little bit more challenged in having to change the way they're operating to get the kind of compensation that they're looking for long term.
When we were speaking earlier, you told me about how you utilized technology that you had to really create transparency and trust with the new incentive plan. Can you share a little bit about that?
Yeah, absolutely. And that's a big part of the transition that we made as well, is not only did our commission rates change, we went from compensating our sales team on field profit to compensating them on gross profit. So the big opportunity in that change and that transition to gross profit is the absolute transparency that came with that. As you work through field profit calculations, anyone that's worked through that challenge knows that it's an exercise by the finance team that's very difficult for a salesperson to unravel and figure out what's driving their compensation. So this transition to gross profit created an absolute transparency where every dollar in gross profit that was driven for the company, X% was going to go to the salesperson. So one of the outcomes of that was both driving increased trust from our sales team to our organization of understanding exactly how they're being compensated. One of the other benefits to that was the ability to integrate those calculations into our Salesforce system to where our sales team can look at opportunities as they create them, and they can calculate and see the gross profit driven to the company, as well as the exact commission percentage that they'd be paid on that transaction if it was closed. So what's that's done is really aligned us strategically in building individual sales plans that have the exact outcome that the organization is looking for, which is a focus on gross profit as we're servicing our customers.
I really like the way that as the organization experiences an increase in revenue, the team members experiencing that same type of increase in revenue. So you have kind of this natural training program created in regards to priority of what items are a priority to sell. Very cool.
Yeah. And one of the other great parts about that is, as a sales leader, what that's done is allowed us to find a structure that can help us go after some of the top tier talent. So if we have the ability to transition a portfolio of business that's highly profitable, we have the ability to pay somebody in that situation a very nice total income. So it's really kind of stretched out the sides of what we're able to compensate somebody on. But also the organization can be confident that those high salaries aren't a gamble, but they're tied directly to the portfolio that's coming. So paying a percentage of gross profit is much easier for the organization to get comfortable with than taking a chance on a high salary and hoping that the profit's driven after that.
Excellent. When you roll out something new and you look back, hindsight is always 2020. So looking at this incentive program that you've rolled out, and now you're 8 months post rollout, if you could share with us if you're happy that you went this route, or kind of share with us where you're at with the team at this point.
Yeah, we really haven't looked back since we made this transition. I think that some of the changes that we're trying to implement, the transparency to the sales team, the ability to really compensate folks who are being successful more rapidly, have certainly played out the way we anticipated. The other things that have maybe happened that we didn't anticipate is how much more it's aligned our strategic planning. So as we're building individual sales team member plans, their focus is gross profit, which aligns very closely with the company. So it's been a nice tool to build a more strategic bridge as we're working towards things together. One of the other pieces that's been really beneficial here has been as we've recruited new talent to the team as well. The top performers, the high performers in the industry, appreciate a heavy commission program. They anticipate being successful, they anticipate driving growth, and they want to be compensated based upon what they're able to bring to the organization. So that's been something that's really helped us with recruiting as well.
We really appreciate you being vulnerable and sharing, the process you went through in creating this incentive plan, and, well-defined incentive programs. They drive organizational profitability. They reward actions by aligning them with the organizational strategy, and they can be funded as the organization experiences success. So it seems like you hit a trifecta there. So again, Thank you for sharing.
Yeah, no, you're very welcome. And that was the goal, is the idea that we're compensating folks to help change their behavior. And if we can get their behaviors more aligned with the company's organizational goals, that's a win for everybody. So it's been a very nice change.
Well, before we sign off, I just wanted to give everybody a reminder that it's critically important that you review your incentive plans on a regular basis. Every time your organization strategy changes, or if you're not getting the performance that you desire, those are all good indicators to say, hey, let's go and let's take a look at our incentive plans and the messages that we're sending to our team. So thank you again, Andy, and we hope you have a great rest of your day.
Yes, thank you very much.